Hello, everyone. Welcome to Durrett's Take. I hope you had a good weekend of March Madness because I did. And there's been a bunch of different upsets that some of them I couldn't even have comprehended, but that's the beauty of March Madness. And now it's time where I get to go over my updated um, predictions for the Sweet 16 throughout with the new bracket as formatted. So let's start off with Gonzaga versus four Arkansas in the Sweet 16. Um, for me, it's like while I had UConn in the Sweet 16, not Arkansas. I knew Arkansas would probably be there, because see, for me, the reason why I was hesitant on making Arkansas in the Sweet 16 was because I did not know Vermont. I did know that Vermont would be a challenge to Arkansas, and they were. I just didn't know if they're going to go over the hump. And sure enough, Arkansas held off there. And then once New Mexico State matched up against Arkansas, I knew, okay, that'll be another close game. Sure enough, it was another close game. Came right to the wire, and Arkansas luckily got off there. Um, I feel like Arkansas, though, is in a good position right now, despite these very close wins, just because Gonzaga has kind of looked vulnerable recently. And if Arkansas can get off to a hot start, I feel like it'll be harder for Gonzaga to come back against them than they did against Memphis a couple days ago. While I do think Arkansas can get the upset here, I'm going to go ahead and still have Gonzaga win this game, holding them off. I'm going to have them winning 68 to 63. 2 Duke versus 3 Texas Tech. I'll admit I was wrong here on Duke. I thought the pressure would have Duke lose to Michigan State, and they almost did. But in the clutch time, they actually rose to the occasion and performed better than normal. So congrats to Duke there. Now, Texas Tech can play good defense to slow down the Duke offense. However, Texas Tech must have a better offensive performance than they did against Notre Dame if they want to win this game. Scoring in the 50s won't work in this game. Um, I feel like since I had Texas Tech win this game originally, even though I had Michigan State and they're not Duke, I still feel like I'm still going to ride with Texas Tech. I'm not going to jump off the bandwagon right now with them, so I'm going to have them winning by one here, barely 64 to 63. One Arizona, 5 Houston. Now this is a very much nerve-wracking game if you're Arizona here, because Houston is one of the best defenses in the country, and while TCU's not a bad defense, Houston's definitely on another level in that regard, as they usually are. But my oh my, the Arizona sure did get lucky against TCU. Um, for me, it's like Arizona, like they were. I mean, it's going to be hard for them to score 70 plus against Houston like they did against TCU. Um, so in this case, it's not about scoring to 70 plus. It's just about playing good defense like Houston plays good defense, and then just outscoring them barely to kind of get the win there. While I do think Houston will provide problems, I do think Arizona will survive and win. It's my championship prediction still lives on. I have them winning 59 to 56. 2 Villanova versus 11 Michigan. Now, the Tennessee were like the darlings, of the bracket basically as far as what non one or two seeds going to win it. Tennessee was like the popular pick there, um, and I fell for that as well. I especially being SC champs and all the way they've been playing recently. But nope. Michigan said Tennessee's defense does not scare us, and they're able to just attack them and get whatever they want on offense. And it's interesting. Michigan goes from a bubble team to cementing their status that they belong in this tournament the whole time. I think they have a very good shot here to upset Villanova. However, I do think when teams are kind of even in the talent department, the championship experience of the head coaching staff matters and all that. So I do feel like Villanova will survive in this game, either winning 65 to 57. Next is 1 Kansas versus 4 Providence. Um, I'll admit I was wrong about Providence being one and done, although South Dakota State almost got the upset there, like I predicted. Richmond looked like their luck just ran out, and they got run out of the building. So now the question for Providence, as the Big East regular season champs, is can they match up with Kansas? I think I think they can. Creighton, who finished lower than Providence in the Big East, gave them a run for their money. So I do feel like Providence can do the same. However, I do feel like Kansas offense would be just too much for Providence defense to handle. So I am going to have Kansas winning by 9, 62-53. Next, you got 10 Miami versus 11 Iowa State. Now, I did not predict any of these teams to be in the Sweet 16 right here. So this is an amazing Sweet 16 matchup here. And it looks like that when Iowa State plays non-Big 12 teams, they're really good. Because they only had like 5 wins in the Big 12, but like they had a bunch of nine quad one wins. Like they got like 5 or 6 quad ones in non-conference play, which is what got them to tournament to begin with, despite the poor Big 12 play. But I mean, I with Miami, I'm just completely shocked. I could see them upsetting USC, but I did not see them beating Auburn. So I mean, this is a coin flip type of game here. I'm not sure who to pick here. For me, I'm gonna go ride with the hot momentum of Iowa State. Playing in the tougher conference, all that I feel like will be to their advantage here, and I had them winning by 3, 59-56. Next, you got 4 UCLA versus 8 North Carolina. Now, I'm surprised North Carolina beat Baylor. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Not just because Baylor was the defending champions, but because UNC usually underperforms against the best teams, which is, I mean, I know they got the one win at Duke, but other than that, they haven't really performed well against good teams, which is why, I thought they were a bubble team. I thought they were overseeded. Well, the Tar Heels proved me wrong here. I still think their all offense, defense optional philosophy will cost them at some point. This game all comes down to Hawkes, for the forward or the wing player for UCLA, because he got injured in the game against St. Mary's. So if he's healthy, then I think UCLA does win the game here. But if he's not healthy or he's severely compromised, then I do feel like UCLA wouldn't then have enough offensive firepower to match up with North Carolina's offense. Um, so again, it's hard to predict this game since we won't know until close to game time what the stat is on Hawkes for UCLA. But I'm gonna assume he's not gonna be that great, 100% wise. Um, so therefore, I'm gonna go with North Carolina to get the upset here, 6-6-6-4. But again, that pick would change if Hawkes is perfectly fine. And then last but not least, you got 3 Purdue versus 15 St. Peter's, the Cinderella of some March Madness here. And it's been a nice Cinderella story for sure. However, I do feel like their run is about to be over here. Murray State, I actually feel like they matched up pretty well to win, which is why they never trailed that game. With Kentucky, they didn't match up well. They were just able to luckily hit shots, and then they were severely lucky that Kentucky was just missing a bunch of free throws. That's what it basically came down to. Well, I don't think Purdue is going to be missing a bunch of free throws like Kentucky did. And I do feel like Purdue's size and then quickness, if you've seen Ivy in that game against Texas, man, he was, so quick and elusive. I feel like that's going to be a matchup problem for St. Peter's in their small size and all that. So I do feel like while St. Peter's can be competitive here, I'm not saying they're going to get blown out or anything. I do feel like Purdue will win here in the end. And so far, this is actually my only prediction of like the winner winning by at least double digits here. I've been winning 79-67. So to kind of recap, the first 2 weekends of March Madness, as we saw, there were a lot of upsets during March Madness. And here's the reason why. I figured I took time to think about this, and here's what I came up with. You know how I said when I filled out my bracket and I was going around my predictions that I've been saying, and this is something I've been saying to my friends, all season, that there's not a clear number 1 or number 2 like there was last year with Baylor and Gonzaga. There's like a top 12 list, and they're all kind of jumbled up together, and you can see any of them winning on any given night. And when that happens, and the lower seeds then have a greater chance of getting the upset because all these top 1 seeds and top 2 seeds are not as dominant as they are in recent past. So that's why, as you see, we have multiple teams getting upset here in the Sweet 16 right now. So that's my reason for that. So what would be interesting to see here is that if that philosophy, carries on throughout the Sweet 16 Elite 8, or is that just for the first couple rounds, and now we'll start seeing the better teams start to separate themselves here. I mean, hopefully not, because we don't want a bunch of blowout games. I think it was back on Friday. There was a whole bunch of blowout games the first round. That was kind of boring because we do want parity and all that. But it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens here. I know there's been a bunch of NFL news recently and all free agency news and all that. I'm still kind of waiting to see some free key agents out there like Teron Armstead, the offense tackle, or the safety Tyrann Mathieu, or the linebacker Bobby Wagner. I'm waiting for those type of pieces to come to the board. And once that happens, then I can start kind of going over an assessment of all the teams. I won't go over my first projections until right after the draft because I do want to see how that plays out. So while the draft's not the end all be all, as we saw with Cincinnati and Jamar Chase, there are game changers, in the draft. Although this year I don't feel like there will be as many game changers as there was last year, but still the draft can be something. So that's why I'm going to wait to give my predictions until after the draft. But as far as, just go on my analysis of all the trades or the signings and all that, I'll do that. Again, once March Madness gets closer to being over, because I don't want to interfere with that. And then also once some more key signings come off the board. So thank you very much for listening to my podcast today. Please subscribe to my channel to learn about me. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful day.